Hi, welcome to How to Repair. In my ongoing campaign against built-in obsolescence, thousands of you have asked for me to start stating which machines to buy. My problem being, it's very hard for me to point you in the right direction in this industry today. But I am going to be doing a whole campaign on individual brands. And today we are dealing with Hoover and Candy. And I'm sorry to have to say this to the manufacturers, your quality has gone downhill so badly since the days of the Merthyr Tydfil plant in Wales back in the 70s and 80s. The quality of machines that you are building today is an absolute disgrace. And don't just take my word for it. I imagine there will be many an engineer leaving comments on this video telling you exactly either that I'm telling the truth or other additional faults they will bring to light in the comments. Now, I've actually scrapped 13 machines, I think it is, over the last couple of weeks because I'm having a look in depth at what is going on our landfills today and why these machines are going on the landfills. I've kept 4 machines to show you the different build quality over the last few years. Now, we have a machine here that was manufactured in 2010. And this has got bearing problems. We'll go into that in a minute. The next machine is a 2015 machine, and this machine has a warped drum, meaning that the drum is rubbing against the outer drum, and it is a complete write-off. Although all the functionality of this machine and this machine are working perfectly when it comes to the components, but the bearings have gone in this one. This one has got a warped drum. The next machine is a 2019 machine, and this has a software problem, meaning the PCB has failed. And lastly, I came across this integrated washing machine, 18 months old and going to the landfill because of a design flaw that Hoover and Candy have not changed in the last 10 years. They're aware of the problem, but they don't seem to change anything. I'm also going to be discussing the accessibility on these machines and how easy they are to repair, and also how the manufacturer treats the general public and engineers with regards to technical information on these machines. Now, I must say, Hoover Candy do produce some workshop manuals and assisted bulletins with regards to repairing these machines. But I'm going to actually go in depth, really, to show you how hard they are to work on. When I had my warehouse down in Caldicot and I had a reconditioning plant, this is in the 90s, the only machines that I would really recondition in those days were Hotpoint 95 series, which was a great machine. That's the one where the motor was on the top of the machine, not the bottom. And the Hotpoint 18 series, which had a great big aluminium plate on the back, and it was just so easy to work on. It was a joy. And I also reconditioned the Hoover A3 series, and they were an exceptional machine. They had one of the best bearing systems of all times. They used tapered bearings in their machine, and the quality was second to none. But over the last 30 years, it's gone downhill. And I'm sorry to say, some of these machines today are absolute trash. So I'm actually bringing this information to you as we go through all these machines, and it's not going to be a short video. I'm going to go in depth on everything so you get an understanding of what these companies are doing. And I'm not just doing this for Hoover and Candy. I will be doing Hotpoint Indeset. I will be doing Bosch, Neff and Siemens. I will be doing AEG, Zanussi and many other machines over the next few weeks because I have actually got a stockpile of machines all of these machines were heading to the landfill. They've either got the simplest of faults wrong with them and they were easy to repair, which means general public was lazy or not having the technical knowledge knowing what the problem is to repair it, or the machines were catastrophic failures due to obsolescence built into the machine and poor build quality. Okay, I just went down the office to get you a picture, and before you all take the mick, yes, I used to have hair. But here we have the warehouse. And as you can see, the appliances that were in the showroom in those days was Tricity Tiara cookers, Creda Carefrees, Tricity Presidents, Bellings, Many good fridge freezers in those days that didn't cause any problem, and fridge freezers used to last 25-30 years. Cookers would last 25 to 30 years, and even the washing machines. You must remember, in those days we had great British makes like Hoover, Hotpoint, Service, Philips. There were so many good machines, and machines would last 25 years. You younger generation today think the average lifespan of a washing machine is good if it gets to 7 or 8 years. It's not. We used to have equipment that would last 25 to 30 years, and that's when you disposed of it. People like myself were able to recondition machines in those days. Okay, let's have a look at the machines that I've already scrapped. Now, this is a drum that came out of, I believe it was a 2014 machine, and this had a basic hole in the drum and it was leaking due to a coin, a nail or something going through it. Most of the machines that I've already scrapped had either spider problems, which is the actual support that holds the drum to the bearing system, or the bearings themselves had collapsed. And what happened around about 2006, all the Northern Hemisphere manufacturers started producing sealed washing machine drums. And they started doing this all at the same time. I suspect they had an internal meeting between all the manufacturers and came up with this idea. I have no proof on this, but it is really weird that every manufacturer started doing this at the same time. Some companies even left the joining holes where the bolts used to be, but decided to weld it instead of using them. In my honest opinion, this is what is illegal. Manufacturers are deliberately going about building in obsolescence. I'm going to leave that subject alone now, and I'm not going to rant on about it, although I'm very passionate about it. Now, this machine had failed because of the actual drum bearings, and I'll let you hear this in a second. The bearings for this machine, if I wanted to replace them, would cost no more than £20 retail, including the seal. But the manufacturer has removed the right to repair. This machine is fully working apart from that noise you can hear on the bearings, and within a few months the actual bearing system would completely collapse. Every component on this machine is good still. The motor, the printed circuit board, everything. And I'll be dismantling these for the spare parts to actually prolong the life for someone else's machine with an affordable component. The next machine, which is a much more modern machine, this is a 2019 machine. Oh, let me quickly go back to this because I've actually written down the cost of the components and what the machine cost new. This machine was manufactured around about 2010, and I can tell that by the date code. The machine at the time of purchasing was £280 to buy. But the drum for this machine, because it is a sealed drum, is £198. The motor for this machine is £152. And the crazy thing, even the wiring harness, which is only a small amount of wiring, is £139 for this machine. And the printed circuit board actually is quite affordable when you compare it to other makes. This is only £115. Right, moving from that machine to a much more modern machine, let's go to the 2015 machine. This machine, the drum will not rotate. It rotates, but it's rubbing on the outer drum, meaning the drum has warped. Now this machine, basically a new drum for this machine is less money according to what I found on the internet. I can actually acquire this drum for £146. The motor is £108, but the PCB on this machine is £192, and the wiring harness is £146. Any one of those components fail, I do not blame you. You are going to go out and buy a new machine. But how come the machine only costs £350, but the manufacturer is selling individual components so high? Next, we'll move on to the Hoover, and this is a Hoover, and what's the model? It's a HL series 1682D, and this machine is a 2019 machine. This has stuff like NFC capability for linking up to your mobile phone, all gizmos that they try to sell you, which really is not useful in any way. It actually makes things more complicated. And this has got PCB failure, meaning that the program is corrupted, or one of the components on the circuit board is corrupted and it's no longer working. I'll just read you the prices for the components on this machine. This machine is £190 for the drum. The motor I couldn't get any information on, and I don't believe they sell it, but according to the Right to Repair Act, all manufacturers should be producing machines with spare parts available for at least 10 years. But the motor, I could not find any information on this. The printed circuit board, again, is a bit cheaper. It's £113, and the wiring harness for this machine is £95. Everything is good on this machine, apart from the printed circuit board. And again, we'll be listing all the spare parts for that machine on the website. Now we're going to move on to a 2015 machine. This is, have I done that already? Sorry, I've done that one. Now this machine is a 2024 machine, and I couldn't believe it was thrown out. And I really just had a quick look. And what had happened is the belt had come off the machine, but the person might have looked at the machine and looked at the back and saw that the belt was off and this pulley wheel was loose as anything. And this is actually because they use a spline type connection between the drum shaft and the pulley wheel. And when this machine was assembled, the nut was not done up correctly, or they did not use enough locking compound to actually fix this to the back of the drum. And someone most probably looked at this, and because it was outside of the warranty period, decided, my God, I'm going to be charged £130 call out for a machine that only cost them £399. So they were suspecting that they might have to buy a new drum, plus the call out charge, and they just decided to buy a new machine. Actually, I was able to fix this machine for less than £15, but you do need the know-how. And I have actually done a specific video on this to show you how to rectify the problem. And that'll be another video. That machine now works perfectly, and someone will really appreciate a cheap integrated machine. Now let's talk serviceability. Every machine goes wrong at some point, and some machines are easy to work on and other machines are not so easy. Bosch, Neff, Siemens, Zanussi, AEG, Electrolux, LG, Samsung all have machines where the front panel of the machine comes off. A lot of Hotpoint, Indeset, Hoover, Candy and other makes use what they call a welded cabinet. This means that you cannot remove the front panel of the machine. And another thing, the lids on these Hoover and Candy machines are the worst in the industry. Any engineer will tell you that the normal lid on a washing machine is just 2 screws and the whole lid comes away easily in one go. These Hoover Candy lids are constructed with 3 separate components. You have a back plastic strip, 2 side plastic strips, and this is chipboard. And what actually happens with this chipboard is over a period of time, because of moisture in the air, this wood swells and it jams, and it does not make it easy to get the lid off. Any engineer will tell you that these lids on the Hoover and Candy machines are the worst in the industry, and they really need to look at changing the design of this, because it's nothing to do with money, it's just bad accessibility. And of course, they should not be welding the drums together, the cabinets together. They should have a couple of screws at the bottom. You take the actual display panel off, remove the door seal, and then you're able to remove the front of the machine. Every other manufacturer seems to do it this way. It's only Hotpoint, Indeset, Ariston, Hoover, Candy and a few other makes that are building these welded cabinets, and it is a disgrace. The workshop manuals and technical bulletins are very good. The rest of the machine is not badly built. I actually do like Hoover and Candy suspension legs, and I'll bring one of these up on the screen. They're quite a reliable system. The way they mount the drum in the cabinets is quite good. The quality of the paintwork on the cabinets are not too bad. They do have, on some machines, a bit of rust problems, but that's usually due to people having too high a pressure and water trickles out the soap drawer and then runs down the machine, causing rust. But the actual performance and the wash on the machines are very good. But pretty much all the manufacturers today do have good washing capabilities. It's only now they are greenwashing appliances, telling you how much or how little water they use, how little energy they use when it comes to washing the clothing. They're trying to actually look green, but they're building obsolescence into their appliances today. And you know, the basic washing machine from the machines I talked about at the beginning of the video in the 1970s and 80s, the basic wash cycle has not changed in any way, apart from we are using a lot less water. And some people do not think it washes as well as the old machines, but they are more environmental friendly when it comes to energy and water. But if we're only saving a couple of pence per wash, but the machine is only lasting 5 years, where is the benefit? Next, I want to talk about warranties and also insurance policies with regards to these machines, and try and make it clear so you understand where your money is going. Firstly, I saw this exact machine a couple of years ago when I was in France. In France, that machine came with a 2-year guarantee standard, and that is because European legislation dictates that no manufacturer is allowed to sell electrical goods without a 2-year guarantee. But in the United Kingdom, they get away with a 12-month guarantee. Now, you can take insurance policies out. When we consider that this machine was £350, the insurance policies that I've had a look at many websites are normally somewhere in the region of as low as £3 and as high as £5 or £6 per month for additional insurance. Now, if it only comes with a 12-month guarantee and you wanted peace of mind for 5 years, then you would be paying an additional £240 for the peace of mind of having the insurance. But when you consider that that would mean that you would have £600 to spend, you would actually be better off buying a higher quality machine in the first place. Now, when it comes to spare parts, these machines, when it comes to the consumables, things that wear out or can break because of negligence. Door seals sometimes get mouldy and need replacing. Pumps sometimes wear out and need replacing. Shock absorbers and other small components. All these parts are affordable, and this company does have good prices on spare parts, as I've been reading. But when it comes to key things that build obsolescence into appliances, washing machine sealed drums, programs, wiring problems, motors, they all are at the point that you would not replace the component because it is too expensive. You would go out and buy a new machine. And I don't blame you, to be honest. I think when purchasing a machine today, I would not even look at any manufacturer that does not give you a guarantee of 5 years. And that is the bare minimum. We even have a British company which sells machines with a 7-year full guarantee. Bosch do a full 5-year guarantee, although they build sealed drums. When a company like this is only putting a 12-month warranty on their machines, think twice before parting with your money. And with this built-in obsolescence that they are doing with sealed drums, I'm starting to think the only way we are going to get legislation changed is to hurt these companies where it counts, and that's in their pocket. Because if you don't buy their machines, they're going to start looking at why people aren't buying their machines, and then they may start doing something about this. I hope this video helped you. Thanks very much indeed for watching. I'm sorry to be so harsh on these companies, but someone has to bring the truth to the table. Our politicians are doing nothing about it because consumption is good for the economy. As I said, all the machines that I'm scrapping, all the spare parts will be on the website, so there will be some affordable spare parts. We do sell new parts as well, and we have many videos on how to repair these machines. Thanks very much indeed for watching. Please remember to give the video the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you wish, and hit the bell notification icon for any other videos coming out in the future. And if we've really helped you, you can always click on the Bipolar Beer page and donate to the website. Thanks very much indeed for watching.